Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 23rd of September going through until Sunday the 29th of September 2019. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you for this weekly horoscope. Now, I'm going to give you a day-by-day rundown of what's happening this week. I always look at what energy the planets are forming up in the sky and how that's going to affect all of us here on planet Earth. So this is like an astrological weather report, and it applies to all signs of the zodiac, and it's for everyone who watches. And I've had a look day by day of what is going on, and the main themes that I've come up with is that there are certain days where you kind of switch from being very introspective to being very outward looking and looking to the future, and a lot is involved with creativity and expressing yourself the way you want to, and the what's that called? The looking within, introspection. Yes, the introspection then leads you to actually take action in what you've gained by looking within yourself and asking yourself, what is it that I really want to do? Okay, I'll go into more details as I start this horoscope and just show you what each day has in store. Also bear in mind that my horoscopes are based on UK time, okay? So don't get too hung up on the times, but it's British summertime at the moment. Okay, so Monday the 23rd of September, autumn equinox. Hello, perfect. It's turn of the seasons. Autumn equinox is when there is just as much day as there is night. So perfect balance between light and dark, and perfect start to the season really to Libra, which is all about the scales and which is all about balance. So this is I love autumn. I think it's a wonderful time, especially when all the trees go red, and yeah, I love it. It's really nice. The sun does move into Libra at 7:51 in the morning, and the moon is in Cancer at the moment. So you feel very intuitive, you feel very nurturing, you're very much in touch with your feelings. That opposes Saturn in Capricorn, so the father figure in the work mode. That's far away over there. And Pluto in Capricorn, also bye-bye, all the way over there. So as you know, what's the saying? When the cat's away, the mice will play. So Monday is a day where you have a lot of personal freedom, but you also have a day where you have personal freedom from yourself, because you're able to step back and you're able to really observe your life as it is now. So this is one of the introspective days. So you can see what is out of balance in terms of your life. So maybe you are successful in love and in career, but you've never been able to kind of maintain friendships. Or you're super successful in all of these other areas in your life, but you've never mastered, I don't know, something really... You've never mastered the bar exam. You've tried that 5 times, you've always failed, and it just deludes you, okay? It's just something that you haven't been able to do. So you're able to step back and look at your life from an objective level, so you don't get emotionally rattled by it. And you can see what is out of balance and what part of your life hasn't worked and what needs to be done so that you can rebalance the different areas of your life so they do all work before the end of the year. So this is really a day to look inward, and by looking inward you also look outward in a metaphysical sense, because you look inward towards your true self, the way you feel, and that looks towards the universe, and that gives you like a conduit that then arrives in a decision like, I am going to try this again. So as soon as the autumn equinox hits, it's really nice that Libra goes into, or the sun goes into Libra so early in the morning, because it's an air sign and it is not emotional, it's logical. It looks at things from the perspective of facts and figures. On Tuesday, the 24th of September, we have the moon going into Leo at 9:20 in the morning. So things really heat up now with the moon going into Leo. Mercury, the communication planet, is in Libra, so it's able to articulate itself beautifully in Libra. It's quite happy in the air sign of Libra. And Equinox is Neptune in Pisces, the water planet of dreams and intuition. It forms a harmonious quincunx with that Mercury in Libra. Sextiles Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is the good luck planet, urging you to gallop forward and to expand your horizons and to broaden your horizons. Sun is in Libra, and it sextiles the moon in Leo. So we've got the sun, the giant fireball, in an air sign, masculine, and we've got the moon in Leo, Leo fire sign, also masculine. So total switch of energy, 180 degrees around. This is one of those looking outward days. So you're no longer introspective, you're really sociable, you're able to use all of your social skills that you've gained over the years, and you like socializing with people, and you're especially good at finding and working with people today. So finding people who you can collaborate with. It's a really good day to decide or to propose or to pitch a joint or community project today, because there's this balance that wasn't there before, and people are going to be much more likely to get involved and to help and to think about other people and not just themselves. On Wednesday, the 25th of September, we have Venus in Libra. Venus loves being in Libra because it rules that sign. So Aphrodite is at her most elegant and gorgeous in Libra. So this is really a time of beauty in the world, you know, like beautiful red trees, autumnal colors, beautiful relationships, the potential to get on with people in a way that is beyond physical, that's spiritual. You sit across the table from someone, you look in their eyes and no one says anything, and you both just know that you're happy to be there with each other, in each other's company, you know? It's that kind of love that doesn't need to explain itself because it's self-evident. So Venus in Libra is a major gift. So for any of you romantics out there, with Venus in Libra, it's a wonderful time to meet your Prince Charming or your what's the equivalent? Is it Cinderella? Or Snow White? Yeah. So that Venus squares Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn, again, structure. So you may be like, I don't want to go down this road feeling wise. You're not getting me. You're weird. No. You're not, you seem a bit off to me. Or this is what I'm devoted to. So that clarity of thought and clarity of perspective and focus when it comes to who and what you love today. Very clear and very balanced with the Venus in Libra as well. The moon is still in Leo and it connects with all of the other planets in the chart, okay, so it's completely bombarded. Leo tends to hold its own because it's a masculine sign and it's a fire sign and it's the lion, so it has loads of strength by itself. So on Wednesday, it's introversion despite a Leo moon. You may come off as cold and distracted to other people because all of these ideas and all of these possibilities of what you can do with your life are just hitting you, and it's just like, oh, hang on a minute, I can't do everything at once, slow down, give me a second to just write these down. They just kind of flood you on Wednesday. So if you're someone who has no kind of creative ability or interest whatsoever, just make sure that you listen for inspiration today. If you already are a creative type, then great. Then you can make your best piece of art ever or your best piece of writing ever. But if you're not creative, then you'll be inspired in a way of how you can do something for yourself or other people. And it may be creative or not. It may be purely academic or scientific or mathematic. But it's an inward-looking day, because you retreat, because things are really, really busy. And when I say Leo connects with most of the other planets in the chart, it forms sextiles and squares and trines and quincunxes with everything else. You've got to remember the moon is what you feel like, and the moon in Leo is like, I feel strong, I feel like raw, I'm a lion, you know. But when it connects with every other planet like this, it's more like the little lion cub from the Lion King than the father. Because it's like, okay, I have to deal with that, I have to deal with that, okay, I have to deal with that. So because it's so busy, you might kind of get smaller because you're just so... Leo will help you deal with all of the things asked of you, but because there's so much, it may just drain you a little bit. So instead of trying to keep all of the plates spinning on Wednesday and be extroverted, I would try and focus on myself and listen to the inspiration that comes up. Because one, like I said, if you're creative, then you get that masterpiece idea, and that's a single opportunity that you get. And if you're someone who is frustrated and struggles to get their points across and their view out, you're going to finally find an outlet for your ideas and thoughts that you can express. So very inwards, which would follow by Thursday being, again, outward. So Thursday the 26th of September, we've got the moon going into Virgo at 10:38. And that's topsy-turvy as well, because Leo is outward, but it happens during an inward period. And Virgo is inward, but it happens during an outward period. So things are a little bit upside down. If things don't make sense this week at certain points, you're like, what on earth? Where am I? If that happens to you, don't be surprised. That's normal. That's the tiny little poor Leo cub being overwhelmed by all this other energy that's going on. And that's why, rather than trying to contain all this chaos, it's like look within and find peace there. On Thursday the 26th, we have the moon going into Virgo at 10:38 a.m. So you become much more interested in details and making sure that everything's correct, and that you do your duty, and that you do what's expected of you, and that you're diligent and hardworking. Mercury's in Libra, so still silver-tongued, beautifully able to communicate things. That squares Pluto and Capricorn. So something you say or something you can put across can change your structures, the structures of your life, work. Like, oh my God, I love your art, I want to hire you, I want to commission a painting. And the Sun in Libra opposes Chiron in Aries, so there's no way you're going to get hurt today. You're able to vent your frustrations on Thursday the 26th of September. So again, it's about being introvert, extrovert. So you're extroverted today. You're able to vent your frustrations and disappointments with life to someone you can trust and someone you can confide in. So you've done the inner work, you've identified what box isn't working for you, or what area of your life isn't working for you. You now have a trusted confidant, which is great. We all need friends and family to speak to, you know? So even if you're the tight-lipped kind of type who thinks that I can't talk about this, like if I open up my vulnerabilities, people are going to use that as leverage against me. Like when the friendship ends or something, they're going to use that against me and throw it in my face. So even though that can happen, it's not going to happen today. So if you have things to get off your chest, then please do it. And please pick that person who you think you can trust, and you'll make the right choice. You'll be able to trust that other person. I was really interested in... I saw this thing that was recommended to me on YouTube. It was an interview with Paris Hilton and Andy Cohen, and really, like, I mean, not my, no. I'm not a Paris Hilton fan, nor am I an Andy Cohen fan. But it was interesting. He was asking her a question. He said, you know, who do you speak to? You've got millions of followers around the world, and, you know, they give you all tell you their life stories and stuff. Where do you go? Do you have a shrink, a counselor? And she's like, that's the last person I would have in my life. And he's like, why? She's like, because they'd write a book about me. So can you imagine being on that level of fame where it's a given that if you hired them thinking that they'd stick to some sort of moral or ethical code not to divulge confidential information shared between them and the patient, that is the first thing they would do. Because who cares about my counseling license if I interview and psychoanalyze Paris Hilton and I write a book about it? That's going to become a bestseller and I'll make my money off that, thank you very much. So, you know, sometimes you do have a reason not to trust people and to open up to people. I've always been someone who has used vulnerability as strength. It's through my weakness that I'm useful. It's because I have alcoholism and I'm not in active addiction that I'm able to figure out how you can live without being in control of everything and without having certainty in your life and without knowing everything and having that faith that things are going to work out the way they're meant to. I mean, it sounds very simple, but to get to that stage is it was a long process for me. So if you're there, that's great. But even if we are in that place, we still need other people in our lives. We are sociable creatures. We are mammals, aren't we? So we do need other people to connect with and to talk to, and Thursday is the day to do that. Friday the 27th of September, we've got the Virgo moon conjuncting Mars in Virgo, so lots of Virgo here, and Mars in Virgo opposes Neptune in Pisces. No, the Virgo moon conjuncts Mars in Virgo, and both of them oppose Neptune, okay? So Virgo and Mars sit together, and they're 180 degrees away from Neptune, the dream planet. So on Friday, you become interested or delayed by information that comes into your life that requires your attention. So a huge bill or a call from the landlord or something like that. It may be some silly thing that requires a stamp, but you have to wait hours for it to get it notarized, something annoying like that. So to manage the day on Friday, don't expect this to be your most productive, smoothest sailing day ever. If anything, do reconnaissance work while you're in the queue. Do research, think about what's going on in your life. Think about where you want to head towards in the future, because you're going to get tangled up on Friday the 27th like in a spaghetti bowl. It's just going to be a messy day with paperwork and people wanting things from you, and you getting to the office at 14:59 and they close at 3 and they've already closed the door, and you knock on the door and you have a huge argument with someone who comes to the door and says, well, we closed 1 minute early because, and you say, well, it should all of that stuff. So this is another day where you're naturally going. This is another day that would be good to be introverted and to look inwards. It's on all the odd days. So Monday is introvert, Wednesday is introvert, Friday is introvert. Even days is extroverted, Tuesday, Thursday, and we'll get to Saturday in a minute. But yeah, give yourself a break on Friday. You may not get everything done. So, you know, if you don't get everything done, then you tried your best. And you can only do so much. We have to accept that too sometimes. You can't, you know, also if you're working and you set the bar high, that's fine. But if you set the bar so high that it's impossible to achieve, then, I mean, you're just making yourself ill. Right, moving on to Saturday the 28th of September, we have the moon going into Libra at 4 minutes past 10 in the morning. And the moon in Libra now joins the sun in Libra. So we feel very much our identity and the way we naturally feel inside are very much aligned. So there's no inner conflict really. The new moon in Libra takes place at 6:28 in the evening. So there's a new moon that happened here on the 28th. I'll make a separate video about the new moon to go into more detail. But a new moon is something that happens every month. It's when the sun and the moon sit together and the moon is totally black, and it pulls in energy to recharge its batteries. Okay, excuse me. And in this case, it's pulling in Libra energy. So more of what you already are is being pulled into the charts, empowering you, encouraging you to connect with other people, to think, to create, to do beautiful things with other people. That sounds kind of weird, but to really make a contribution to the lives of other people and to make it a positive experience. Like, let's say you work in an office, okay, you're self-employed and you have 3 employees and your little business, and you've done really well and everyone just works super hard, and you decide, okay, I'm going to treat these people because they've worked so hard, and you decide to have a champagne picnic lunch in Hyde Park in London, which is near your office. And you all sit there and you have champagne and you laugh and you throw your heads back and you're like, oh my God, we did so well this year. That's so important. So, you know, this week is about socializing and looking within, and making sure that when there are good days like Saturday, where it's just easy to connect with people, that it's important to make use of that. Because it's much easier to connect with someone on a day like this than forcing an awkward connection with someone where things aren't just going in that direction. So Saturday is very much about connecting with other people, and the new moon is about planting these seeds of intention to broaden your network, to improve the quality of everything in your life, and to be even-minded, so to look at fairness and how your behavior is going to influence and what consequences your actions will have on other people. So you're super considerate as well. So I will make a separate video on the moon. Venus in Libra also sextiles Jupiter in Sagittarius, the lucky planet and the planet of love, form a harmonious sextile. So this is a new moon that allows you to plant seeds of intention to bring more balance into your life, and to bring more love into your life, to bring more friendship into your life, and any other relationships that you can imagine. Because it's Libra, it also brings more beauty into your life, because Libra is just an elegant, suave, gorgeous looking sign. It just leaves that mark of it leaves the mark of excellence behind, because Libra is really, it likes nice things. It's similar to Taurus like that, but it's very much appreciative of nice things. It doesn't hoard them, but it's also able to create nice things and to create living nice things, like nice atmospheres and rooms. Finally, so Friday is inward looking, Saturday again outward looking, because you're making friends and relationships and you're bringing beauty into your life. So again, Sunday we would imagine that it's inward. So don't get too hung up on that, but there is a definite inward, outward, inward, outward, inward, outward, inward, outward. So just make sure that you're in your right lane, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that you don't go against the tide, because that makes life more difficult. Finally, Sunday the 29th of September, the Libra moon conjuncts Mercury in Libra. So the moon in Libra is the way you feel, so you naturally feel considerate and balanced. Conjunction is a melding of energy with the communication planet, which is in Libra, expressing itself beautifully, and Venus is in Libra as well, the sign that it rules. So Sunday is another great day for all the creative people watching this video to find a way to express themselves, or to work on the masterpiece, or to find a creative outlet for yourself. You'll also be able to express and articulate whatever it is you want to express in the best way possible. So just kind of take action during the day, go about your business, and it'll either just appear in your life, or someone will mention it, or the idea will come into your head saying, why don't you try this? So it's also a wonderful day to speak to family members about secrets or difficult information which has been touchy in the past, and where your relationships have been rocky with family members. It's a great day to resolve those conflicts and to make peace and to wave the white flag. So addressing those kind of things today, especially with family, can bring great healing and can be a huge kind of burden off your shoulders. You know, if you've cut off your whole family, you would have had a reason to do that. But let's say people can change and some miracle does happen and you get your family back, you'd be like, oh wow, you know. So it's a day of taking care of yourself and making your life better by giving you a time out, a time to digest and analyze information and to make sense of it. And then it gives you a day to take informed action on what you've thought about. Then it gives you another day to think about what you've done and where you are now, and then another day where you can take informed action on what you thought about. And then that goes over and over and over again this week. So it's really a day to let yourself be guided and to go with the flow, and when the urge hits you to kind of ask yourself a question, let yourself do that and give yourself the time, even if you're running around town and eating your sandwich on your way between offices, then think about that while you're having your sandwich and walking. You're going to have to multitask if you're super busy. But this kind of careful, considered movement forward is someone who makes you much more skilled when it comes to operating in the public sphere, being a public figure, being a hostess at a party, being a host, or being in the limelight. You know, when you're at parties, there's always that one person, when everything goes quiet and no one's got anything left to say, there's always that awkwardness when it's quiet. And there's always that one person at a party who's got the gift of the gab, and they tell a funny story or they tell a joke, and it's just that spark that gets the whole conversation going again, and everyone's off to talking to each other. And that's something beautiful that you can contribute to a situation. Yes, it's not tangible. No, at your eulogy, people aren't going to say, you know, we're going to really, really miss Annie. Whenever she came into a room and sensed a negative vibe, she always turned it around and made it a really great vibe. No one's going to say that at a eulogy, okay? But she'll be remembered as someone who brought love and positivity into people's lives. And you don't just do that for other people today, you do that for yourself. You bring love and nurturing and caring into your own life instead of criticism. Because we're out of that period now, and you've got a lot of information floating around your head from Virgo season. You don't do this properly, you don't do this properly. You've got a lot of that floating around, and now with Libra you can love yourself into actually doing things at your own pace, and you can move along and progress through self-love and positive self-talk instead of criticism and putting yourself down. So that's what I get for you this week. If you would like me to analyze your natal chart, then please get in touch with me via my website for a private reading. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to audio reading. I use astrology, tarot, and numerology in my personal readings. I can answer any questions you've got about love or life purpose, vocational aptitudes, money, the future, where to live, spiritual development. I've got access through these 3 divination systems. I can look at everything that is about you and answer any question. So if you're at a crossroads, or if you don't know what direction to go in, or if you just want to check in and make sure you're on the right path, then please get in touch with me for a personal reading. I am available. So just go to gregoryscott.com and order your reading there. If you like the video, hit subscribe. Have a lovely, lovely week, and I'll speak to you next week.